busy week in hip hop, but it was an interesting week. And where I want to start is this, and I don't think this is a long conversation because I think we're all going to be on the same page here. But Polo G saying that he doesn't want to rap anymore. He wants to be a streamer because, quote unquote, that's where the money is.
Well, then you weren't in it for the music to begin with.
That's why.
Well, that's the second point.
I was about to say that's why niggas' music suck. They never really go nowhere.
Thank you.
Not really
that's the first point.
They not in. They not really. They heart not in it for the music. They in it for the bread. You know, the clout, the everything that come with it.
Well,
besides actually loving the music.
That's second. Yeah, that's second, and that's why. Again, this may sound like a crazy PSA. This isn't going to be a popular PSA, but that's why I appreciate Kanye. Is because. Right or wrong, dumb or stupid, whatever he doesn't have to make music. He is now a billionaire. Congratulations, Kanye, you're a billionaire again. Tuck that chain in, as Dave Chappelle would say.
But he's shown
that right or wrong, good or bad, he doesn't give a fuck. He loves making music. And Kanye, Polo G, we're not trying to compare them to. They're both Chicago, but whatever.
But that's apples to oranges.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is this is a product of the music industry. What this is to me is just simply the fact of people being aware of passion or not. Because I think you guys both make a valid point. There are a lot of people that come in this for the bag, not necessarily for a dying passion, like a la Kanye, like I just said. But with that passion, there's just, even if you have that, it's just proving me time and time again what we've been saying. That there is no money in music, that the real money, music is the gateway. Music is branding. Music is marketing to get you to that next level. Look at all the billionaires that hip-hop has produced, which is several, which hip-hop, talk your shit, by the way. Y'all produce multiple billionaires. Y'all produce Kanye, Dr. Dre, Jay-Z, Rihanna, Beyonce. By proxy, yeah, Beyonce by proxy. That's 5 I just named right there. And guess what? All of them got their money off of, got their big money off of. Not music. It was either fashion industry, record labels,
and
executive.
Not to mention those are all artists that were selling pre-streaming, also that were, number one.
I guess that's another point.
In the event of making money off music, they also made the most at the time because.
Fair.
That changed, as time went on.
But if you look at their again, they're like GDP, like their pie of like income, it's like music is like, and these are some of the top selling artists I just named. These are some of the top selling artists.
That's what I'm saying.
Of hip hop history. And dare I say, I don't know if I can say this name, but Diddy's also in that conversation as well. Somebody that elevated to a billionaire status.
He invited me. I didn't go.
Yeah, I
was busy that day.
I wasn't there, dog. Relax.
I was busy.
Don't worry. I think Justin and them still having parties if you ever trying to attend.
Who, Timberlake?
No, Justin Combs, his son.
Oh, yeah.
Why you just throw Justin Timberlake under the bus like that?
They probably know each other. He's probably there. Who knows?
Come on, bro. You know Secret Service is on us, but no.
This does not look good on paper.
This does not look good on paper. But no, that's all I want to say about this. Like, I don't really have too much more to say. Is that essentially look at like we took it to the billionaire status, but look at like the lower tier. Like look at like Danny Brown, for example. Danny Brown is a successful, talented artist that we all adore here. But shout out Danny Brown. But like, if we're being real, he's probably making more money right now off of just his streaming and his podcasting and all of that shit
for sure is.
than his music. So,
but Danny Brown is another person that I'll give him the pass because he proves that he really gives a fuck.
I'm not trying to shame any artist.
Well,
what I'm trying to shame is the music industry. What I'm trying to shame is us as fans. We are all fans of the music industry. And we are not going to get quality music to the level that we want to because the money's not in music, because these artists aren't getting paid right, because these artists are getting on and then they're realizing that I'm producing millions for this record label and I'm getting
nothing.
50,000. I'm getting 20,000.
Danny Brown's a great example of, he said in an interview like 2 years ago, like 2022, whatever, something like that. he's like, I'm still paying off my album that I made in 2015 because when you make an album, if you have a record deal, what you get is a loan, and in order to pay that, you have to pay that loan.
Your
back.
advances, a loan.
Yeah, and that pays for your studio time, for your producers, for your whatever.
And they're racking all that up. They're counting all that.
Danny Brown was like, he's like, my 2015 album cost me $150,000. He's like, I couldn't pay that back right away. Like, I'm still paying it back 7 years later. Like, you know what I mean? So, which is why I do always like, I do like the influx of like independent artists now because it is possible to do everything yourself if you take the time to fucking figure it out. Outside of the
there may be a cap on what you can make for that album, but again, the cost, the pros and cons, benefits, the cost. That's my point. Is like, this is a PSA, and this is just me being like a pure, like almost like child like fan of music. Is that I'm begging the music industry to change, to treat these artists fairly. They're not going to do that because obviously it's not in their favor. It's not advantageous to them to treat these artists fairly.
No,
but if they did, we would get better music because we would get these artists. If these artists didn't have to go somewhere else to find money, then they would stay in music, and we would get these more beautiful albums, these more amazing singles.
Yeah, they'd give a fuck.
Yeah, they'd give a fuck. But right now, again, like when you're Kanye, Jay, Rihanna, again, these are all people that like people want them to drop an album tomorrow. But I'm looking at it from the perspective of if they drop an album, I'm grateful. I don't care whether it's good, bad, whatever. I am grateful that they did that because if you're making...
It literally doesn't do anything for them.
It doesn't do anything for them. It's literally only to serve us, like...
Or themselves.
Peasants. Or their own passions, whatever.
Yeah, well, this applies, the concept of this applies, I mean, it's just capitalism, I feel like, in general. But it applies down to... When I left the restaurant, I told my boss before I left, I was like, the one thing I can tell you is that some of these people you bring in, you want to pay them $12 an hour, you're going to get $12 an hour work.
Yeah.
So
facts.
You can't expect to pay someone $12 an hour and be a fucking banger in the kitchen. Because if I was getting paid, I was lucky.
Or you only get that for so long, and then they learn that they're only making 12, and they're worth more.
And then they give up, and that can literally be applied up the chain.
Yes.
Of when it comes to music, it's like if you know you're only going to make X amount out of this, then you're only going to put X amount of effort into it. And no, it's definitely the music industry's fault. I just want to make that clear of like, no, it's fucked up because I mean it does also relate to. You gotta I want people to make music to make music. If you're in it for the money, the music should come first. The money should come second. Now everyone needs to make money. I get it.
Yeah.
But also it's like, if you weren't in it for the music to begin with, then I don't even really have much respect for as an artist. I don't have much respect for you as an artist.
I won't say that because for some people it is a way out. I get that part of it, but yeah, I get what you're saying. You're not taking it to that extreme.
I think that.
But wrap it up.
Labels just need to understand that like you can always find another clown for the circus, but not every clown is gonna be it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, we've seen that a lot more lately of like people. The revolving door is getting shorter and shorter of people like
again
that Ian dude that was popping like everyone they put him on the shelf like haven't heard a fucking peep out of him. I mean that's like the definition.
But I would give it a little more time before I use that example.
Yeah,
but you might be right. You might be right.
In front of things either because.
But a perfect example we talked about it like Lil Baby.
Yeah,
like,
it's like
you know what I mean like. I
think every artist have their moment in time where you just don't see or hear from them for like whether that be like a month or two or maybe a year
or years. Or
but I feel like at that beginning, still at that early stage. I mean, that's where the kind of the industry plant things come in because he didn't really have a lot of this Ian dude just specifically. It's like he didn't have a lot of priors, and then all of a sudden he had Marshawn.
He was just in our face.
He had Marshawn Lynch in his first music video.
He was just
Marshawn
in our
Lynch
face.
Just outside, but like. Either way, like, you know, and then he just goes away. Like, if you are an artist who's coming up and you have a rock solid year like that, you're gonna try and stay in front of shit.
Well, what about Jack Harlow? Because he was just off the radar before he just dropped that freestyle.
Yeah, but he's been around for 10 years.
Yeah, he does have a core. He has a more like a pop fan base, but he does have a core fan base.
He's had longer to. He's been around for longer. And
right,
there was a time that he wasn't.
When the last time you heard Tommy Richmond?
I was going to say
He dropped the album in September, man. That's 4 months ago.
Shit, nigga, Ian just dropped the EP with Lil Yachty too long ago. So it's
that's
why I'm asking him.
But I'm saying kind of the same thing of like, I just find it weird of, if you have the momentum, you're gonna want to stay in front of it. You don't have the star power to go away right now. You know, like Kendrick can go away for 5 years and come back and still do numbers. Like these guys, it's different. You know, like you
no, for sure. I just
find it interesting, whether it's industry plan or not, because Tommy Richmond, the question's still in the air. I think he has the talent.
Yes,
but like,
I agree.
You know, it's like
but he's so dumb for that, dog. I don't understand how you can be that oblivious. And this is speaking to somebody
I'm not a rapper shit.
This is somebody that is a white person in hip hop culture. I don't understand how you can have that level of tone deaf. Is insane.
And all you have to do is just shut the fuck up.
All you have to
do is say nothing.
All you have to do is not say that.
Yeah. You don't have to say the opposite. You just don't have to say anything.
But speaking of rap, let's get to some rap shit. Because I made this a big topic last week, and I feel like I was the only person that was like super, super invested in it. Joey Badass and these records have been going back and forth. It kind of cooled off because we had, you know, our first couple weeks of the year off, so we kind of were talking about it late, having the conversation. But Joey Badass dropped Sorry Not Sorry, responding to Daylight and all of these other people. People are saying that there's a J. Cole bar in this where he said Cole might delete this later, but you know I won't. Those type of things. The Cole part, I will save a quick aside for the Cole part. But just generally speaking, we talked about last time, regionalism in hip-hop. We talked about Joey Badass making that claim, I'm a New York MC, blah, blah, blah. And obviously the West Coast responding the way they did. And then we saw people popping up like Mick Jenkins, which I believe his was like not a regional response, but more like a stake my claim as a rapper with his War and Rumors record. Mm-hmm. Like there was a lot of pockets of rappers stepping up. And
but I don't.
What I want to say is now, let me just ask a question to preface the room. So first of all, what do you guys think of the Sorry Not Sorry Joey record? And secondly, is this it? Because he didn't like if you're listening to it, he didn't like push the line further than what they said. He just kind of stood his ground. That's the way I look at this record. This record is dope, but to me, he kind of just stood his ground. He didn't push the envelope forward. He didn't say anything where it's like, oh, it's all out war. And
I think the problem becomes does he really fucking care, or is it because his name's attached?
I think he cares. I think he cares if one particular individual responded, and that particular individual didn't respond, and it's Kendrick. I think he understood that he wasn't going to get a Kendrick response just because of the level of Kendrick and the level of Joey is just astronomically different. But I think that's what he was looking for. He was looking to see if Kendrick would pop out or whether it would be other people. I think he expected this to happen this way. And that's why I think Sorry Not Sorry is a dope record. And I love that the fact that he's doing visuals with this too. Like that tells me he's putting time into it. He's putting thought into it. So shout out to Joey.
It's probably a gear up for an album. And what better to do than attach your name to the biggest hip hop?
But that's why he didn't push the line, is because he doesn't want his album rollout to be caught with him dealing with people that he views as a lesser tier. A Ray Vaughn, a Daylight, like these names these were the people that were shooting back at him.
But again, it's too easy to have foreseen that. Is that if you do it, literally, if you go back to the Ruler's Back, that one line, a lot of West Coast dick licking, that right there,
that's the one that opens it up. That opens up the doors.
Involves you, and if anything, we were at probably one of the least involved points in this whole thing, besides the lawsuits. But the storm has calmed a little bit since then, and it's if you did it in June, that would have made all right. Yeah, I get it. Everyone's taking their turn, but you were 8 months out, and then you decided to say something. You didn't strike while the iron was hot. You waited for everything to cool down, then you came out and said something, because you know that you're not going to get a warranted response from anybody, from the people that you're directly talking to, like Kendrick or Drake or whoever. Mm-hmm. You're going to get the Ray Vaughns, but that's easy. I don't know. I'm not saying that I like Joey Badass, but I'm just saying it's all a little too convenient, and once again, going back to, I don't want this beef to be the overarching thing of hip-hop in general for the rest of the time. I would have just rather had Joey come and make a couple of good songs.
Like it or not, it is going to dominate 2025 as much as it did 2024. I'm sorry, and I'm just calling it like it is. We're looking at everything that's happening. Everything that's happening is a trickle-down effect of what happened last year. This Joey thing is that it is him popping out. It is him trying to, again, he doesn't necessarily need to cash in on hype, anticipation, promo, because he's Joey Badass. But at the same time, he knows that there is benefit in doing this. Plus he's an MC, plus he's competitive. Plus he did want this to be something more. And that's why I felt like the Sorry Not Sorry was dope, but he didn't get the response he wanted. That's why he took the J. Cole shot in there. That's why he took the J. Cole shot, is because he realized after sitting back weeks, again, this has been 3 weeks since he dropped that first record.
Yeah.
The reason we are getting that Cole bar is because he has now sat with it and realized, I'm not gonna get Kendrick.
I gotta go at the one person.
I gotta go at the one person, and that's what's so interesting. That's why I obsess over it. Cole, I can't stop thinking about.
He should know more than anyone that Cole could wrap him under the rug regardless. And Joey's not a fucking beef rapper. He never has been. He's never had.
I think he's a competitive rapper. I don't think he's looking at these as fuck Kendrick, fuck Cole. I think he's looking at it as I just want the opportunity to prove I'm better.
But I just don't want this because the Kendrick and Drake thing, obviously that is a personal
that was different
between them two. And the thing that I just hate about it, and which is why the conversation's already fucking dry to me. I'm over it. Even the other I know it's relevant, but even the other day when we were in the car, it's we were listening to Drake, and I get it. We're on the pod together, and I'm not saying anything against you, but you started talking about it, and it's I'm tired. I'm tired of it being related to.
Oh, you're talking about when I came downstairs, and I was like, "Oh, you're playing Drake."
No. It was when we were in the car on the way back from shout out midget wrestling, or little person wrestling that we went to this week.
It must be politically correct.
But no, just the Drake song came on the way back, and the conversation just kind of went. But
yes, yeah.
But it's
I remember that conversation.
This is now over politicized. The conversation's fucking dry. We're talking in circles every time. It's the same conversation. I know we have to discuss when new things happen, but as far as outside, if this is the future of hip hop, I'm worried for the genre because
I swear.
Because if this is now if this becomes a thing where the only way to get poppin' and rap is beefing with somebody, then now nothing's organic. Once again, everything gets faked. It's gonna turn into the same thing that it's kind of how when the whole trapper thing came. Half these rappers never fucking trapped in their life. They'll claim it, but it's gonna be the same thing. It's people faking shit. It's fake beef. It's fake this. It's fake. It's
faking force, man. Force. I be hating that force shit, bro. I've been saying that shit for the longest, bro.
That's what I mean.
That force, it becomes a point that nothing feels authentic anymore. You know what I'm saying?
That's exactly.
You just never know, if people really have problems or you are you using me as a view button? You know what I'm saying? Like, are you trying to get views off my name, or you actually got a problem with me?
And that's why it's like Joey, like, although look, I
ain't gonna point no fingers, but it's
like,
a big rapper that done the same shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but
I disagree. I think they had genuine problems. I think they genuinely hate each other.
Who?
Yeah, I know. I know. I'm not trying to open that can of worms.
I ain't say no names. So
yeah.
you know, if you putting that shoe on somebody's foot, you know what I'm saying?
The realistic
that's all you.
Is
I'm not trying to open that can of worms.
I think that was personal vendetta. Genuinely, at the end of the day, they clearly both do not like each other.
I think they
and even to the point where the label
we had this conversation off mic because we'll be going at that for hours.
But okay, anyway, point being is going forward, like a person like Joey, like you don't fucking say anything because now, because now me as a Joey fan, now I'm sitting here thinking of like, oh, now he's just riding off this, and now I'm taking him less seriously, like, you know, and. I just fucking make music to make music, man. That's what, like, I like the competitiveness of rap, but keep it and don't jump on. Find somebody else to beef with.
Okay, but let me just play devil's advocate here, because me being the person I am, I love that we are getting to that we are getting to a place where hip hop culture is getting competitive again. Like, I do. And I know that's like the old head narrative. Like, I know that everybody over 40 and me are saying that, but I do genuinely appreciate the fact that, like, now we're getting to I want to prove I'm better than this person. I think both things are true. I think Joey genuinely wants to step out and prove his worth. And I also think that Joey understands that he saw the blueprint of what worked last year, and he's trying to adapt to it. I think both things are true. I don't think it's fully. What I'll say is I don't think it's fully disingenuous what Joey is doing.
But if
I also don't think, again, that's why I'm like not throwing a big fit about it, is because this record sounds like, I don't want to say Heart Part 6-ish, but like it does kind of in that sense fill that void of the I'm just responding to all the shit that has been said, and I'm off this shit. And if he drops this album in say he drops his album in September this year, are we really gonna say like he capitalized off of like beef? I don't necessarily think that a beef.
Well, for one, I don't think it's gonna be September. I think it'll be sooner rather than later.
Okay, yeah, but just play out my scenario. And follow the logic. Like, if he does drop in August, September, October, whatever, like if he drops late this year, like, are we really going to sit here and be like, damn, what would Joey's numbers first week be if he didn't, in January 1st, declare war on other rappers and then drop one other record and then move it to the side?
Well,
like,
you're right, but
like
I think it plays a lot on when he drops.
But yes, I agree with that. And I also think, what I think would have took this to another level, and where I'm partially, I'll say again, disappointed, because again, as I'm a fan that like wants to push like these like competitive raps again.
Yeah, but this isn't competitive rap. This is Drake and Kendrick.
Big
rap.
Sean.
That's not competitive.
Step your foot in the ring. Talk your shit. I want
somebody else. Shut the fuck up.
I want all this.
Drake
Hold on.
Kendrick.
This is what I think though. Like, I think it, and I hate to just. I want to keep getting on Kendrick or whatever, but I think it became from people actually having competitive rap, because everybody will say it's a competition, this, that, and the third, competition, whatever. I think it became from competitive rap to envious rap, because it's the focus points of these battles is not necessarily no more about who's the better rapper. It's more about I don't like
character.
It's your character. It's all types of things that's not rap.
Yeah,
like it's not.
I
rap
agree with
no
that.
more.
I agree with that.
You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, and that's just I like that hip hop is competitive. That's inherently embedded hip hop's nature since the day that it was born. But this isn't competitive. This is clout chasing.
Exactly. Like competitive to me is
I think it's both.
When we listen to Forever, to me that's competitive rap. We got 4 of the best rappers of our time trying their hardest to deliver the best verse on one of the best beats you could probably have of that time.
And still to this day, people are arguing about
what the best verse is. We did that pod 6 months ago.
Yeah, but that's just it. Okay, if you want to keep it competitive, don't talk about Drake and Kendrick. Find somebody else to fucking beef with. Mm-hmm. Like if anybody from this point forward is attaching your name to it that isn't already attached, you're clout chasing. There's no question.
It's envious. It's like super envious rap. Like you see that this person has clouded up or got some more notoriety than you, so you piggybacking off their name or something they have that you wish you could get. You know what I'm saying? Type shit.
Again, find fucking someone else. If you want to go chop or whatever, because you look fucking silly attacking that. This shit has already played out. There's already been so many characters. We could have a fucking Super Smash Brothers game made out of this. You know what I mean? Like you're just involved, but there's no reason to involve yourself because it's not Joey's. It's not like you're fucking putting on for the East Coast here.
Well, what I'll say is I genuinely believe that both things are true. I genuinely believe that, again, he's not dumb. He understands that, like, if this playbook plays out right, it will work for him. But I also do genuinely think that he wants to be the East Coast guy. He wants to be this. He wants to be that. I genuinely believe that part of it. Where I'm looking at it is like. Again, I think that particularly the Joey part of this is dead. I think that Joey said what he said, and these other rappers are going to say what they say, and then that's it. It moved on. It's like Joey didn't necessarily put, again, when a battle happens, MC to MC, you always look at, did this go up a notch? And if it didn't go up a notch, then that person is saying that the battle is dead. That I don't care to go on from here. This is over. And that's what Joey did with Sorry Not Sorry, which was a dope record. But he didn't push the envelope. So I think
he also started.
Hold on. No, I agree. Listen what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I'm off of that part of it. What I'm saying is I think Joey would have pushed the line if, again, somebody like a Ab-Soul, a Schoolboy Q, a Vince, somebody that's of his ilk, of his era, of his status, popped out and said something. And I also think it's really weird that somebody like Ab-Soul, somebody like Q, somebody like one of those people didn't.
The biggest shit talker on planet Earth.
Again, especially Ab-Soul. Ab-Soul, you know he dies for like backpack rap, bars, nerdy shit, whatever. Like you know, Ab-Soul, MC Warfare. That's what he like masturbates to. Like he's about that. So the fact that, and I think that speaks to your guys' point, is that I think Ab-Soul sat back, looked at Joey, and he fucks with Joey. He's cool. He's very cool with Joey. You know, he has a strong relationship he had a strong relationship with Steez, rest in peace. Like I think Ab-Soul would have popped out if he would have like seen this as more than like just like clout chasing. So that actually goes against my point because I think Ab-Soul would have, like, MC for MC, he would have popped out and said something because Ab-Soul has all the benefit in the world from a time when hip-hop is competitive and lyricism is at the forefront. You can't tell me other, like, mid-tier artists, and I don't mean this disrespectfully because I think he's very talented, but in terms of popularity, mid-tier artists like an Ab-Soul, that's the blueprint for him to benefit. Is for us to care about lyrics. That's a layup for Ab-Soul to like
even Ray
to
Vaughn's
step up.
Ray Vaughn's a tier or two even below where like Ab-Soul and Joey were kind of classed together in a lot of ways, you know.
So that's, again, I think that's part of the reason with Joey is Joey not only did he not get the Kendrick, but he didn't get the Ab-Soul, he didn't get the Q, he didn't get the Vince, he got
Ray Vaughn, who like again is fine, but
is talented, I fuck with Ray Vaughn's response.
He also has the least fucking trailblaze out of all of them, you know?
Yeah, because he said, I'm going to turn you to an album rollout, and if I'm Joey Badass, I'm not even responding on mic. What I'm saying is I'm going to IG Live, and I'm being like, I know you need to put out an album, so go ahead and use my name for an album. Because Ray Vaughn signed to TDE like 4 years ago and hasn't put out an album.
Yeah.
And I love Ray Vaughn. I'm a big Ray Vaughn guy. But, like, Ray Vaughn being like, "Don't make me turn you to an album rollout" was more like him begging him to turn him to an album rollout.
Please give me something to talk about.
Yeah, Ray Vaughn was like, "Please, let's take this further." Like, I would love to roll out an album right now, but
yeah, man. Like going forward, it's like if all this is not. I think there's a dividing line of where it's good for hip hop or not, and this is at a point where it's not. This is not productive. It's not. We're not making good music anymore. Like this isn't. Well, not. I'm not going to say that. I'm not. Hold up. Let me retract that point. There's still good hip hop out there, but if it's too focused on this, then you're losing the fucking plot. Mm-hmm. Because I think that it should be part of it, but again, my point being is that although time needs to pass, the iron's still hot. But like, you know, the Jay-Z and Nas people are everyone's fucking buddy now, and everyone just likes both of them. You know, like it's not that hasn't stuck, but like this has the blueprint of this right now. No pun intended. Seems to be that this is going to continue to keep happening, and it's like. Just come up with your own. I think your own narrative.
Well,
I think the way this played out,
it's kind of like y'all, like sooner or later y'all was gonna have to patch up. Cause like originally the beef kind of started over a bitch. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
and
that's something you kind of could just like.
Yeah,
all right, bro, we tripping.
I don't really want to like compare it to that, but like it's just.
That's why I like with the last beef. You know what I'm saying? It's like I don't see no apology there, only because. Like, I don't see where the starting point is of a beef, so I feel like they're going to be beefed out forever. But when it came to, like, Jay-Z and Nas, it was like the same thing with Drake and Meek Mills. Like, we see where the problem was, where it started. Like, either you could be a man. It was him being drunk, but that, too, that was a part of it. But it's either you could be a man and own up to your mistakes, or we're just going to be beefed out forever. You know what I'm saying?
Meek did, like, instigated by crashing out on, like, Twitter and whatever. But, like, to me, I feel like that started from like, you know, like the Nicki Drake, you know, thing.
But it did. Yeah. But I'm saying like
again, I'm not trying to get down that tangent wormhole.
But like ahead. I mean, Drake would have had to been aware of that, because you know, like basically the story was that Meek and Nicki was at a mall or some shit. Meek couldn't pay for something, asked Nicki to let him hold it until whenever, and then she basically said that Drake would have took care of it, this, that, and the third. That would have had to been to Drake's knowledge for him to know, like, that was probably, you know what I'm saying?
I don't know that part, but that
girls tour basically thing.
And basically, Meek took that a certain way. He was drunk one night and just started exposing Drake on some random shit.
What do you mean, like, took it away? Because I'm sorry, if my girl's like, yeah, like, they didn't date, but, like, ex, like, or it'd be like, yeah, like, that man would have paid for it. Like, you're not gonna not feel away. I'm not saying that Meek didn't handle it the right way, but I'm saying like she.
Well, first of all, I dropped the bitch. That's crazy.
Yeah, she's messy as fuck for being like, oh yeah, no, I got you. Like, yeah, I'll pay for his dinner. I'll pay for this shopping spree or whatever. But like, you know, like this guy wouldn't. This guy wouldn't let me pay for it. This guy would clear the check. Mm-hmm. That's fucking wild. Listen, especially when Drake on records be like, "Hey, Nicki, I love Nicki Minaj. Mm-hmm. I told you we would do it." Like,
yeah, no, I mean, shit. That's the power of being a woman, man. Listen, wars have started over women. You know what I'm saying? Like,
politics,
that's just the reality.
Money, religion, oil, women. That's like that's everything.
Right.
That's what every war has been about.
I think women are above oil, but I don't know.
Oil. No, but
if we're ranking
just
them.
going forward, like, okay, like, because I saw Mick Jenkins.
I mean, if I could sell my woman for about a good
now,
150
how
a
much
gallon.
are we talking? How much are we talking?
So I guess my last point to it is like, okay, like a person like Mick Jenkins, like, so he dropped a song after Joey. He wasn't. I don't have a problem with you coming. The competitiveness I like if you keep it at, because that's how it's always been. Is I'm the fucking, like, every rapper says they're the best. That's how it works. Like it doesn't matter. When I was making songs on SoundCloud when I was 15 years old,
you believe you're the best.
I was saying I'm the best. Like, it's just you are saying that you're the best. Like, it's just how it goes. Yeah. And so like Mick Jenkins, like, he didn't respond to Joey. He didn't respond to anything. Now, did he?
He just kind of planted his flag.
Yeah, he planted his flag as yo, if anyone wants to toe the line, I can do it because I can. And Mick Jenkins is one of my favorite rappers, and he's a fucking
he barred up
a next level MC. But like, and so that's cool. But it's like Joey, we haven't heard from Joey in a year and a half, and then the first thing that he comes out with is directly referencing Kendrick 8 months after everything has transpired. So it's like
no, I feel
if
you to
Joey
feel
was
like.
striking at 6, if he struck while the iron was hot 6 months ago, it'd be a different story. But we're at the point. This is in the courts now. We're not even dealing with the fucking. Yeah, we're not even dealing with like the actual.
Listen, bro, I don't even want to talk about that. I don't want to talk about the courts because unfortunately,
no, I don't either.
Unfortunately, I know this for a fact. We're gonna be talking about the courts at some point in this podcast going forward, just because it is what it is. It's gonna be a thing. Let's speaking of battles and beef and all of that.
We're gonna talk about that J. Cole rapping Joey under the rug. I think that's
You think that's
blasphemous.
Okay? Hold on. Let me get off this because
I'm a fan of both. Yeah, we can talk.
Because what I had is, look, I wanted to transition there. I just can't get over. I'm obsessing over the fact of Cole and how he's going to maneuver, and I see both sides of it. I see it as like if he pops out on Joey, he's in a lose-lose. Because if he pops out on Joey, it's like, oh, where was that energy for Kendrick and Drake? If he doesn't, it's like, oh, you just let another, like, bro, J. Cole has been a punchline for 9 months. He has been an absolute punchline in rap, in interviews, in music.
I wouldn't say punchline.
I don't know about
Yes, he has.
No, he's been given the benefit of the doubt.
No, Fat Joe. Shit on him.
Who fucking
50.
cares what Fat Joe?
Yeah.
Oh, white guy who says
50.
the N-word? Yeah, okay.
Fuck with Fat Joe thing. All I'm saying is, ain't nobody about to
Fat
be.
Joe is not fucking culture.
Ain't nobody about to
I'll
be
tell you
sitting
that
out here
now.
thinking that
Fat
J. Cole
Joe.
dodged Joey Badass. Like, come on, bro. Like, when
But
it comes to stardom, certain shit like that don't even matter.
I know,
so like
I
somebody
know.
like Joey Badass
I
says
know,
something, J. Cole's
but
like,
I listen. I'm operating with you in the realm of logic. Like, I'm in that same wavelength. However, I know the public ain't gonna be that. The public and you know, people are sheep. They're gonna go with the public. They're going to look at the fact that I could tell you that Sorry Not Sorry record. When you Google it, what is the most looked at line? It is the J. Cole line. And that's because people are looking at J. Cole like he's sweet. And again,
And so
I know
Joey found a fucking easy target.
Yes.
But that just also proves my point.
I'm not saying it doesn't.
But again, what are
but
we
let's
fucking doing here?
let's focus on the Cole part, because I don't want to go in circles.
But that is what I'm focusing on.
No, I know. I know you're talking about the Joey motive, but like I'm looking at it from the Cole perspective of like, dude, what the fuck do you do, bro? Because like if you pop out on Joey, like even if you pop out and you wash him, like we all would expect Joey would be fucking body bag dunzo if he ever tried to step to Cole lyrically.
Wow.
But
you know what? No, I want to air this out.
yeah.
Right,
we can have that convo. We can have that convo. But let me finish my point. So, okay. There's a lot of people. let's rephrase it. There's a lot of people that think Cole would body bag Joey in a record, and it's like doom. It's done. Not finito. Never going to be a conversation. If he does that, even if he stomps on the ant, even if he stomps on the fucking ant, you know what Twitter and public narrative is gonna be? Where was that energy for Drake and Kendrick? Where was that energy for your peers? We know you can stomp Joey out. We expect you to stomp Joey out. Where was your energy for the people you were compared to? And if he doesn't, if he ignores Joey as like small fish,
now he's a bitch.
Whatever, it's like, dude, you let this fucking mid-tier ass rapper
bitch you out, yeah.
bitch you out, and then you're gonna talk about an album called The Fall Off? You're gonna have a nerve to have your album called The Fall Off?
He was doomed from before any of this happened. Because J. Cole already has
like he's in a lose-lose, and that's why I'm so fascinated with what he does.
Years, as much as like I'm a fan of J. Cole, we all are. I mean, this dates back to like 2017. People have been fucking. J. Cole's new album was great. Every time I can't sleep, I put it on and I'm out instantly, like type of shit. Like J. Cole has been a target and a punching bag for a while when it comes to that, but that's just it. Maybe J. Cole, shut the fuck up and just drop your shit and do your thing. That's why I'm happy that he did the his podcast thing, because it's like, again, if everything is related to this is no longer music. This is fucking TMZ. This isn't hip hop anymore. If it's all related to this one thing, it's not. This is way beyond hip hop. This isn't about music. This is about drama. This is about numbers. This is about tabloids. It's about TMZ. So at what point are we going to call this hip hop or not? Because just because they classify as a rapper does not make this shit hip hop.
No, I want you to give your piece.
I just want to hear what your perspective is, because I thought you would have agreed with me.
What you were saying is
how like J.
Cole J. Cole and Joey.
Oh, J. Cole and Joey.
Yeah, you don't think Joey would get packed out by Cole?
No.
Is that what you're saying?
No.
I love Joey.
I love Joey Badass, but I think when it comes, like when we look at these two, we confusing stardom with rap skills. We acting like Joey Badass rap skills is not right there with J. Cole.
No, they're fucking idiot. They're great, but J. Cole's
like, be for real.
J. Cole's got the bars.
J. Cole. But I think it's closer than public would think. But I still think it's worlds apart.
No, that's fine. I understand that the public narrative is not about to be exactly what I'm saying right now.
I think Joey's.
But what I'm saying is,
Joey's one of the.
I don't think it's like that. As somebody that like you know how I am with lyrics. Like I have all the respect in the world for Joey.
Me too. I absolutely. Love
I genuinely don't see a world in which he can out rap J. Cole. I don't see it.
I don't see a world where J. Cole is
clearly
washing Joey Badass. Like,
so
is he gonna wash?
You're saying it's not about.
I think
Joey would wash him, but you're saying you don't think that it'd be a wash for J. Cole either.
No, yeah, like on either side, it would not be no type of wash. It would literally be depending on what style probably you like the more out of if they both rapped against each other.
I feel you.
Flow, this, that, and the third.
To like the better song.
It's gonna be like the whole other factors within. You know what I'm saying? It's not just about to be J. Cole is going against Lil Baby or some shit like.
Yeah, and I do. Yeah.
Well, Joey's obviously washing a Lil Baby, but I do think there's a Grand Canyon's too much. But there is a gap. But there is a gap between Cole and Joey.
When it comes to rapping, no.
Yes,
I don't think
pure rapping.
I don't think so.
I genuinely disagree.
I don't think so.
I genuinely disagree.
I don't think so. And I don't even like Joey Badass nowhere near as much as I like J. Cole.
I think J. Cole he's a better, because a lot of beef rap really boils down to how do them punchlines hit. How can you bring this back? How can you hit the nail on the head? And I feel like Cole would have the upper hand in that. But like no, and Joey is still to be. There was a time I would have probably put him in my top 5. Like went back, maybe like before the money.
Same.
Like back then. Mm-hmm. And I always have loved Joey Badass. There's not a body of work he's put out that I dislike.
That's bad. Yeah.
Yeah, but like
he just didn't reach what the potential would have.
I think that.
And part of that is because he pursued the acting and all that.
That. I think that there was a lot of predestined. He tried the collective route pretty early, as far as where he was. As far like the collective of Pro Era was formed pre Joey and Steez even really breaking out at all, and then also I think that Capital Steez's death probably has to do with some of the ways that he's operated and his motivations in rap and all that type of stuff too. So I think there's a lot of sides to Joey and Wyatt's trajectory. The acting too. There's sides of it, but Joey he hasn't been as consistent as I would have liked him to be. I like his last album, 2000. I like 2000. I thought it was a great album.
I thought it was a good album too. Yeah. I thought it was really solid.
I do see your point. Like, J. Cole and Joey, let's take the beef out of it. If you listen to 2 songs next to each other, is the tier really that far apart? Probably not. But
if you're looking at it from a just rapping perspective, I think it's closer than people think. But I also do think there is still a gap at the end of the day.
I don't see no wash. I just see the stardom and in people's eyes when they look at J. Cole.
You're not wrong in that.
You're
not wrong in
just
that.
When they hear J. Cole and Joey Badass, it sound like a crazy feud that will happen. So
yeah, I mean, I'd hope you know I'm obviously not looking at it because especially in that people are gonna the way the internet would go with that is, are we choosing shit or a butt? Because people love to hate on both of them already.
That's fair.
What I mean, as it is. Because as soon as Joey dropped, everyone would go back to acting. And if J. Cole drops, the fall off. They're 2 rappers who tend to get a lot of flack, unwarranted flack, I feel. So I see your point. I mean, so maybe I'll retract and say maybe it wouldn't be a wash. I do think that J. Cole does have an upper hand on Joey, but maybe the gap is smaller than I originally thought. You have a good point.
Fair. All right, let's jump to, not to tie all these things together, but I just wanna be fair and objective here and have this discussion. I think this discussion is small, short, and sweet. However,
let's try and keep it that way.
I would not be the journalist that I am, the greatest, the most unbiased hip hop journalist there is.
For something that we all agree
without having this statement, because there is a theory out there. So Kendrick does his Super Bowl trailer, and he teases SZA in it, and he announces that SZA is going to be at the Super Bowl halftime with him. And there are people, without going into depths, there are people that are suggesting that this is because of the fact that Kendrick and SZA have not quite sold out instantaneously their tickets to their tour, and that this is a act of desperation, because how many people announce who they are bringing out before the Super Bowl? So I will give this to you guys. The simple question is this: do you think that this announcement, this decision for Kendrick to announce that SZA is going to join him for the Super Bowl, which, by the way, I was right 6 months ago, it's not a big deal. Yeah, I'm just smart.
We all had thought the same thing.
You think he the only one? I went back and watched that song.
I saw that
pretty
text.
Much all said.
I said it. Y'all agreed. Yeah, no, y'all. We right. No, we right.
It was obvious.
No, we right. No, I'm not going.
I swear it was only like 3 people.
I'm not going to say.
It's only 3 people that made sense coming in the Super Bowl.
I'm not going to say.
SZA and Future was probably top 2.
I'm not going to say it was. It was obvious, because I called that before GNX. I said that SZA gonna be on the Kendrick album.
Before GNX, I promise.
Yes, exactly. That's what I'm saying. So I called not only Super Bowl SZA, I called SZA on Kendrick album. I called multiple collaborations, even Kendrick on SZA. Every layer of it was right. This isn't about me. This is about the people.
Well, yeah, but none of those, all of that was pretty much in the tomes. I'm just saying it was that was a.
Y'all not trying to take this podcast to the next level. Okay. That's what y'all not trying to do.
Listen,
all I know is not personal.
Listen, all I know is I want the same credit as you give yourself. I'm pretty sure we are.
No. We for sure. I presented it, but y'all agreed. So yeah, y'all get credit.
I just want you to know I'm over here sparing you right now. I got a gas line ready to break.
Sparing me?
I'm sparing you. Because you'll be knocked unconscious if I let loose when I'm holding there.
Fuck that. Me and Birdie starting our own shit. The Birdie Apples power hour. You feel me?
Hey, listen. All my wing crash out. You know me. I'll admit if I'm wrong. I'll come on this podcast next week.
I gotta take a shit.
What if we started?
I thought you were talking about my take. Okay, hold on.
Let's start a new a podcast, but we recorded in the studio, then we podcast beef with each other.
Let me rewind it because we did just
you could also say,
go on a
you
tangent
could say the
here.
Rap Cave
spinoff.
Yeah.
Shout out the Rap Cave. We're the dopest in the building.
We are.
Kendrick, SZA, Super Bowl. Kendrick announced SZA being an act in the Super Bowl. That doesn't happen often where they are acting who they're bringing out. A lot of what Super Bowl performances are is a surprise. And I do think there is more entail. I don't think it's just going to be Kendrick and SZA.
I got a theory.
But I'll let you cook. But let me just ask the simple question. Because there's a lot of people, certain people, however you want to phrase it, that are having the discussion, is this because Kendrick and SZA, their tour didn't quite sell out immediately?
Well, I absolutely think that's part of it. Because it doesn't matter who you are.
Let's have the conversation. Go ahead.
Selling that out is an incredibly hard task.
Yes.
Drake couldn't do it by himself. And even with another person, I still think it'd be hard. That's not an easy. You're going from these arenas that they all do.
The stadium is a totally different world.
That's what I'm saying. They all equally do these arenas, and that's, say, average 20,000 seats.
Okay.
This is 75,000. That's over three times, or a lot more fucking people. So, to be fair, I don't think that anybody would have had an easy time doing this unless you're Taylor Swift or whoever.
Personally, I think
Birdie,
Drake would have more successful time selling out tickets for stadium than Kendrick. I personally do.
There's zero world where he does it solo though.
Solo, no. Oh yeah, no,
it's
not
impossible.
solo. Not solo.
So
I wouldn't expect any rapper to do a solo.
Again,
I'm just saying now.
It all depends.
If he did do a solo, though, I still think he could sell it out though.
No, he couldn't.
I think Kendrick and SZA are going to sell out. It's just a.
Drake is a bigger artist than Kendrick, but he doesn't have 3 times the amount of fans that Kendrick has.
I think he could only because like Kendrick, the crowd he appeals to is more niggas, and niggas are not more dying to see another man as opposed to Drake having a big fan base of women, and women are more dying and more willing to pay top dollar to go see Drake.
Okay,
but on top of the fact, obviously there's gonna be some dudes that's gonna want to see Kendrick as there is.
Let's not necessarily make it. I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying.
This is a fact. This is a fact. You can look it up. Women are the biggest consumers in the country. Period. That's a fact.
Of music,
and you know that damn near every stand page you see is a woman of some sort.
What I'll say is this. Yeah, I was gonna shout out, but then I'm not gonna shout them out because some pages are annoying. But But like, okay, I don't disagree with anything you're saying, but let's not try to make everything directly Drake Kendrick. I'm not saying anything you're saying is wrong. What you said was valid. But going back to the original question, do you look at Kendrick announcing SZA as a sign of the tour is not where we need it to be, or is that too deep of the fold, or if you're let's make it simpler. If you're assessing the blame, because you definitely said it was part of it, how much percent of the pie is that? Is the tickets not selling out? Looking at Kendrick saying, "Oh yeah, SZA's gonna be on this with me."
I'm honestly not piecing them two together for real. I mean, like Super Bowl's less than a month away, so if you wanted to throw that out there that he's having SZA on there, I don't see it as like a cry for help because he ain't got like his ticket sales not selling how people expected it or whatever. But
because the Super Bowl ticket sales are not the problem.
I'm about to say I don't know.
Well, no, it would be because of the concert tickets.
But do you really think that 2 more weeks at the same time to contradict my own point? Do you think 2 weeks in advance is going to make that big of a difference in ticket sales?
No.
For a concert that's 8 months away?
Facts. That's what I'm thinking.
That's kind of what I'm thinking too. Would it have been that?
That's why I'm not piecing it together.
Well, it's technically 3 months away.
That's why I'm not.
April 19th is when it kicks off.
But I'm saying, say a date 8 months from now.
That's why I'm not piecing it together, because like motherfuckers not really about to be thinking about this Super Bowl commercial like, oh, like I just seen Kendrick just do a Super Bowl commercial with SZA. Oh yeah, let me go get a ticket now. You know what I'm saying? Type shit. I just think like, yo, he put it out.
If
like,
anything,
less than a month away, the Super Bowl is happening. I'm about to have SZA with me. That's how I see it.
If anything, I'm looking at it as like, I don't think this announcement, like you said, is like going to sell tickets. Like, if anything, what's going to sell tickets is SZA just being there at the Super Bowl. What I think this whole thing is it's just a trailer for the movie, which is the tour. Like, they're playing it smart in that Kendrick and SZA are going to do the Super Bowl, the biggest stage, and they're going to that's going to be a setup for the tour. I think, again, look at the last time Kendrick was at a Super Bowl. What did he do? He had the Steppers with them. That was before he announced his album was Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. Like I think this is going to be,
I never put that
visually, it's going to be some sort of a preview for what we get with Kendrick and SZA. And also again, I'm looking at the history of it, and I'm looking at the artists that sold out in recent years, like right off rip. I'm talking like right as they announced their stadium tours. Yes, stadium tours were the Taylor Swifts. They were not hip hop. They were not. Yes, they were not hip hop acts. So like, and like when I'm looking at hip hop artists and fans, again, I'm a big Kendrick fan. I bought the Mr. Morale tour ticket the day of the concert.
So it wasn't sold.
But I always intended on going. Yeah, and it ended up being like 90-something% capacity or whatever.
You were like, there'll still be some.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that's what this is this is like hip hop fans are different than, like you talked about, like with the girls, like with Drake. That's why I loved you bringing that up, is because I think that audience of ticket buyers is different than the hip hop. Like us three, for example, like, you know, you're going to be at the Kendrick concert with me. You haven't technically paid for your ticket yet. Like, I'm not trying to put I'm not trying to put your business out there, but
literally, I haven't paid yet, but it's
literally look at it from that perspective. You're going to buy your ticket close to the concert.
Yeah, and I also as the consumer, is because, you know, again, nothing. I want to go, absolutely, but you know, the tickets that you bought were how much a piece? Like $350.
Yeah, $360.
$360. Now, me as the hip hop consumer, even for my favorite artist, I do think the ticket price is paying that much. So I'm just throwing it into. I'm going to trust me.
I know.
Obviously, but like what I'm saying on the opposite end is like, as far as the consumer goes, as him being my favorite rapper, do I want to pay $360 to go? Not really. I'm going to because of the situation at hand. But I'm sure a lot of people think like that. They're like, yeah, I'm not going to pay $200 to go see this.
But
person.
I'll do it. But
my favorite rapper,
but not
like
even
Jay-Z
that.
came.
Not even that.
Yes.
Let's look at where we're.
Jay-Z tickets we got.
Let's look at where all of us are at financially in life. All of us are at a point financially in life where we will go to that concert, but we will buy our ticket closer to, because you know what we're gonna look at. We're gonna look at this month with all the groceries and the rent and everything. I don't feel like tacking on that bill to this month.
Yeah, the rest of my month is already budgeted out.
Yeah, so like you're gonna like that month you may end up like overspending that month, but like you're gonna go, but like you're gonna procrastinate that purchase. That's what the hip hop R&B fans are. So like as opposed to a lot of the pop artists, the pop artists are like those girls, those kids, mainly girls, aren't buying the tickets. Their dad is buying it. You know what I mean? Like they're like it's a different level of like finance.
And that gets down to
I think that's that. And again, Mr. Morale, I bought a ticket the day of, right? Going back to that was also a top like 4, I think it's like 3, 4, or 5. I don't know where it's at. It was the top at the time. It might be like 2 or 3 now. Selling hip hop tour of all time. And I bought a ticket the day of. And that is gross wise the top 5, I'll say it safely.
I think it's number 2.
Hip hop tour of all time. Right. So like what that says is like I'm not worried about like the tickets is because even when you look at that tour, which obviously that album versus what Kendrick did and SZA and all of that is gonna be a different level of response. So
it's just
that's just the nature of hip hop fans of us.
It is 100% true. But
I'm gonna go to Tyler with my girl. I haven't bought the ticket yet.
Me too. Yeah. No, there's 2 comedy shows in a month from now that are 2 days apart that I am absolutely going to both, and I still haven't bought the tickets. Yeah. So it's like, I mean, I approach, but like, so that's
we're not buying it with daddy's money. That's the difference.
That's 100% true. It also boils down to, obviously, price gouging. Tickets are way too fucking expensive as it is.
That's another factor.
Because these tickets that we're buying should be half the price, realistically. Everything should be.
Yeah.
It goes back to my, just as a quick side note, like, so my dad, I grew up on like classic rock shit. My dad, my favorite band as a kid is still one of to this day, and my dad's favorite band is Led Zeppelin. One of the biggest artists of all time. One of their, I don't remember which album. One of their albums is one of like the second or third highest selling album ever in music, like ever to exist. So they're the biggest act, especially in the 70s, in the fucking world. Like, they're the biggest people. And my dad they filmed, back then they used to film concerts and put them in theaters. And so they filmed, it was a concert film called The Song Remains the Same. And it went into theaters and stuff. And they filmed it over 4 nights in Madison Square Garden in New York. My dad grew up in New York City. He bought 3 of the 4 nights tickets to go. They were $12 a piece for the biggest band in the fucking world.
Yeah.
And he was able to get tickets for $12 to where he could go 3 nights in a row because they filmed it over like 4 nights and chopped it up, like whatever. But that's crazy. Like the fact that we're struggling for 1 ticket for 1 night for probably shittier seats, for probably like it's crazy.
They're good seats.
Do you really think that tickets should be half the price? They are now.
I think what they do is they overprice them because they know people are going to gouge tickets.
Although artists make all their money off touring, but the extra money that we're paying for these tickets nowadays is not going to them. It's going to.
Do you think you'll be able to okay? Because I'm assuming you already got the tickets to the new concert. Like, do you think you will be able to? Because you said you bought the tickets to the last concert the day of the concert. Mm-hmm. Do you think that if the tickets were half the price, you will be able to do that?
That they would have sold quicker?
Yeah, basically.
I think they would have sold quicker.
No, I think, I definitely do think that's part of it. I still don't think they would be. That's why they would have been sold out. I think
people wait more because it's more of a financial decision.
Yeah, I think exactly. I think it's that, and I do think that like Ticketmaster and all these platforms are upping it because they know there's people that I won't name, but I got a friend of mine that bought 6 tickets for this Kendrick SZA concert because he knew what this was gonna be, and he's gonna sell them bitches for profit. Mm-hmm. And right now he's texting me like he's panicking because he's like, oh fuck, it isn't sold out yet. This is concerning. Like blah blah blah. I'm like, bro, hold true. You're gonna get at least your money's worth, if
it falls flat,
if not more.
That is your own fault.
Yeah, that is
the system if it's there.
Yeah, that is his risk, and he does generally accept that. But like, yeah, at the end of the day, like there are those people like that are doing those things. So they're looking. So like these Ticketmasters, and I'm not taking the side of corporation. It's fucking dirty. But like. That's why they're jacking up these prices, and they're also jacking up these prices because they know that like post-pandemic, a lot of people are just trying to be outside. They're trying to be out. They're trying to be outside. They had that year or 2 years of being inside, and they are dying to go out. And
I think it's a little less now, but.
It's less now, but it's
just way different when like you can just be like just at your job and then the tickets drop and then you just go on your phone, just go buy the tickets. As opposed to like going to see Led Zeppelin, you gotta go to the box office.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying, buy the tickets.
Exactly.
So I mean, no, I feel you though. They definitely should be half the price, but I think if it was half the price, it would be harder for us to get to see the people that we actually want to see.
Box office tickets are usually far fucking cheaper. Like I went to go see I went solo. I saw Emotional Oranges, this R&B group. I bought a ticket on StubHub or whatever, resale ticket for $60, and it didn't like hit my email in time. So I had to basically like when I was in line and I didn't have it yet. So I had to cancel it, and they were like, "You just gotta buy it from the box office." I bought it for $60 on StubHub. I bought it for $30 at the box office. So that literally is half. Yeah. In that sense. Now, does that apply across the board? Probably not. But like, you know, even at the box office,
we might have to test that theory out because I know it's not a lot of motherfuckers out there going to the box. Is there still a box office still, or do they like?
100%.
No, there's still box office.
I've bought them for. I bought Tigers tickets to the box office fucking last year. You know, they still have that at every place, no matter what. But it just depends because a lot of things sell out nowadays that quickly.
It probably ain't no gas fees or nothing. Like, oh my God.
Yeah, no fucking.
Yeah, no bullshit shipping and handling. How you gonna ship and ship and handle when it's electronic?
The taxes and fees be like $70.
Yeah.
On top of the $90 ticket.
It's on all the bullshit. It's same thing. You ever seen that one dude who posted his Uber receipt and it was like he got charged $20 and just said Chicago fee? He's like, what the fuck does Chicago fee mean? Like. You know, like, yeah, we get hit with so many fees that don't mean shit at this point. Bro, yeah, I ordered fucking a honey and chili cheese fries the other day. That shit was like $50. Like, you know, like Uber Eats, fucking tickets, all this shit is all the fees. Bro, processing fees and shit. Get out of here.
Yeah, these apps just be trying to throw their own little tax on. That should be irritating.
Okay, so on the topic of this, though, I want to get to my theory.
Go ahead.
Mark my words. Could be wrong. Tyler, the Creator, is a surprise guest.
There was that. Did you see like Tyler comment on that? And then like it was like eye emojis or something.
He commented, but I noticed from the promo to begin with, why the fuck else would he have people marching in the promo?
I think that music, we all expected it. Like to be march music. We all expected like to play into that HBCU like that.
Yes, but it's not particularly shown to be a marching band. They're all wearing the colors of
like Tyler, TV Off and Not Like Us will definitely have like marching.
Well, they're gonna have a full band and shit, of course, like type of. But these people were marching. You couldn't see them. They were off screen. You could only see the bottom of their pants. They're the same color suits that are in all the Chromacopia promo in general. They're just marching. They're not playing instruments. They're just marching. And you can't see them you see their shadows. You don't see any instruments or anything in their hand. And that was part of Tyler's entire album rollout. And also the comment on the Instagram thing. And Tyler has obviously advocated very heavily for
Kendrick,
for this. Yes. And what's the one song that Tyler, the Creator, remixed?
The Hey Now.
Hey Now. And what was in the promo? Hey Now. I'm just saying it makes a little too much sense.
So here's the only way I'd shoot back at you.
If they even knew he was in America during the Super Bowl.
Here's the only way I'd shoot back at you, and disagree with that because everything you said is logical. The only way I disagree with it is that no Super Bowl artist brings out somebody that they don't have a song with. Kendrick and Tyler don't have a song.
Technically, yes, but
I can't think of all the Super Bowl artists even now.
At the same
again, I could be proven wrong in that, but to my knowledge, understanding,
that's a fair point.
They always bring out the people they have a song with. So even if it's just that they play the song and it's their part.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
So who hosted the Super Bowl the year that Kendrick came? Was that
not hosted? That was Dre.
It was Dre.
Dre.
So he brought 50. He brought 50, which he produced. Okay. But like that was only a surprise guess. It was like it was Mary J. Blige, Kendrick, Eminem, Dre, and Snoop. Those were the five that were named, and then they brought out 50 as a surprise.
Remember she came out, so she had a belly.
20. I want to say like the year after.
More recent, yeah.
I think it was a year after. So that would have been like 21 or 22.
Dre was 2021, I'm pretty sure.
No, because that was 2022 because it was the same year Mr. Morale came out. So Rihanna
I'm
might
about
have
to
been
say, yeah, I know that was
2023.
the year after, because I know it was the same year that Jay-Z came when Kendrick came out and all that.
2023 was Rihanna.
I think what's gonna happen. If I had to predict surprise guess, again, I said it in the group chat. I do see a world in which J-Rock comes out for a quick money tree, but I also think like maybe the whole thing is arranged by, say, DJ Mustard.
Oh, I'm sure. Mustard's gonna be there. I don't think that's a question, honestly.
I got Future being there. For sure.
Future's another possibility.
The only other defense I'll give is Tyler's West Coast.
Yeah.
Tyler and is like, I mean, he also is the best selling West Coast artist other than Kendrick. Yeah. There is no.
You're right.
I mean, Tyler Chromacopia is in the first week of this.
It's a massive unit. Yeah.
It went platinum in 2 months.
Yeah. GNX just went platinum too. Yeah.
Right, but I'm saying like that's what I mean is
they both went platinum. They
LA
literally both went platinum within, I think, their first 2 months, because GNX was November and it's January, and then Chromacopia went platinum last month and it was October.
Yeah, and so it's like, who else are you bringing out that's got that type of, that amount of star power for the Super Bowl?
Again, you're looking at somebody like again, he has records with like guys like Travis Scott. Like he has bigger records, and maybe it's someone SZA brings out, whatever. But I think, and again, maybe Kendrick and SZA, it just is like, it is them, and that's it, because they can do a Super Bowl to get like those two. I mean, they're doing a stadium tour, so they could definitely do a Super Bowl together.
That
of like their
explain the marching and the promo. You can't just claim it to a marching band. Everyone is a fucking marching band or whatever. Everyone has a full orchestrated thing at the Super Bowl. That doesn't explain. And that Tyler's promo, or Kendrick's promos are very fucking
layered in. Yes, you're right.
So,
I don't necessarily think it's deeper than like him teasing that he has a marching band.
But I mean, that'd be like Metallica teasing that they're gonna have a guitar on stage.
But again, sometimes it's right on the nose and we don't know it. Like before Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, he literally had a bunch of people wearing at the Super Bowl these stripes that said Big Steppers. Like sometimes it's genuinely it's that obvious. We're just not at the point yet where that is obvious. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I'm
not ruling it out. I'll put a chance on it.
I'll put a chance on it because I have seen it float around, but the first time I saw that promo, that was the first thing I thought of when I saw that marching, because it wouldn't, to me, there's no other world where it makes sense. And they're wearing gray suits. Why are they all wearing gray suits? Like exactly like in every piece of media that's came out of Chromacopia. Why would they be wearing specifically gray suits? Like that's what I mean. It's like,
hey man,
it seems too obvious. All right, Kobe,
take your victory lap.
But I don't know. We'll see. I mean, to me, I could be I could be wrong, but
again, I'm not ruling it out. It just again, I'm looking at the history of the Super Bowl, and the history of the Super Bowl is that every person that's ever come out, even as a surprise guest, they have an artist. Again, prove me wrong. I'm happy to be wrong on that. But from my knowledge, everybody has a guest that they've done a song with. Well, let's jump to new music before we get out of here. New music. We got an album from Central C. We got an album from Boldy James. We got a deluxe from Big X The Plug, which is just 3 songs. We got Larry June's, 2 Chainz, and Alchemist dropping a single. We got Bruno dropping a single. Those are the things I took note of.
Bruno's single is very West Coast.
Everybody wanna chime in wherever you want. Birdie, I'll let you start. Was there anything new music this week that popped out to you, or is it just kind of a
Central C songs? That's the guy. I'll tell you, he gonna be.
He smoked a little baby, right? Huh? He smoked a little baby.
Oh yeah, that wasn't no question.
Yes,
you talking
thank
about
you.
album-wise?
Yes, thank you.
Oh yeah.
Thank you, thank you.
But
thank you.
it's not hard. It's not
That's
hard.
what I want to say.
He's the one UK artist that kind of pushes me to be like, all right, no, it's fine.
Yeah, I'm about to say
Nah,
it's not hard.
Dave and
I
Will
know,
Sims, but
It's not hard. I don't
that's
think
a
it's hard.
big
It's gonna be
three.
hard
That's
for,
a massive.
If we
big
talking about
three.
album sales, I don't think it's gonna be hard for Central C to outdo Lil Baby, him being international. But
I don't know about that because motherfucker Lil Baby did the quietest 145K I've ever
did.
seen. The
But
quietest.
Lil Baby, but
the
Lil
quietest.
Baby,
You
Lil
ever
Baby,
heard a
it's still Lil Baby.
145K album
It's still
that
Lil
didn't
Baby.
that didn't make a peep?
it's still Lil Baby.
Like like you didn't hear that shit all week, and that shit did 145K.
Vultures.
Nah, I heard Vultures.
We're not gonna talk
More.
about.
I heard
Uncle
Vultures
Shannon
because
Sharp.
I voluntarily went and listened to Vultures, but I haven't heard
you didn't hear it
anything
outside.
outside of me making myself.
Well,
going to listen to
Carnival.
Vultures. Okay, yeah, no, I'll give you Carnival. Actually, you're right.
I've seen people like on Twitter like
Vultures too.
they'll like name drop.
Yeah, no, that didn't do 145.
They'll
It
like
didn't do 145.
I thought it did
yeah.
over 100 still.
Yeah, no.
they'll name.
He did a 90 though, didn't he? It was like 89 or 90.
I don't know. Look
I
it
believe
up.
people
yeah.
on Twitter will
Look it
name
up.
drop a
I
certain
don't
song.
know. I feel like it had a bad week.
They'll name drop certain songs on Twitter, be like, da da da, so, this song is better than this or whatever. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Then I go back, I'm like, oh shit, that was a Vulture song, I guess. Yeah, like, you know. Now,
Well,
granted,
but now Central
there
C
may
did
be a
its
day
thing.
when maybe we were too hard on it, but I don't know. I'm still not sold on Vulture.
No, we're not
Vulture,
trying to
yeah.
have. Let's not revisit.
It's just
let's
it
not
was
revisit
just one
Vulture.
that.
I'm just trying to say
was-
that of albums that sold 145K.
on there, it could have been much more successful.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
for
know. I know you feel that way.
And it-
But-
yeah.
Just saying.
I want to say
Too horny.
145K, 145K, and I didn't hear that album outside of my headphones.
Bro,
That's nuts.
it gotta be either some body streams,
Yes.
all
There's
type
a-
of shit. Because I heard
there's some
more about
industry
Big
shit,
Sean,
yeah.
Big Sean album, and that shit sold 4 times less, 4 times less than Lil Baby shit did.
But no, I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. But the Central C album is dope. Listen, if you want to make the Lil Baby comparison, because I've seen other people make it on Twitter, to me, it's like the way there's more versatile production. Yes, Central C has a similar flow consistently throughout the album, like a Lil Baby does. But there's also like more lyrical depth. Like in Central C's album, we hear about his struggle. We hear about his relationship issues. We hear about him dealing with fame. We hear about his traumatic upbringing. And I'm not saying that these aren't things he hasn't touched on before, but there is more versatility lyrically that he offers than a Lil Baby. So for me, I'm looking at that record as like that is a dope record. Shout the Dave one, that shit is fire. Yo, the fact that he sampled Neo So Sick and made it a banger with Lil Durk is just fucking nuts. That was not on my bingo card. That So Sick by Neo was gonna be sampled into a banger.
Yeah, crazy pull.
But it was.
Did y'all see?
It's
did y'all
dope.
see that he
It's
was
dope.
on Plackboy Max stream?
Yeah.
And he made a whole song on there, and that bitch was fire.
That Lil Baby did?
Central
Oh,
C.
Central C. So I saw that.
Oh yeah, the Central C and Lil Baby song, by the way. Lil Baby should have kept that bitch for himself because
Yeah.
that shit smokes everything that Lil Baby
Definitely
had on
should've
his
been on
album.
I saw
Everything that Lil Baby had on his album wasn't better than that.
The only thing I saw, because I don't really keep up with streamers all too much, but it comes across my feed is that Central C showed up like 3 hours late or something like that.
I don't know about all that. I just seen them on there. Like
I know,
I don't
I-
keep up with it neither. I just seen them.
Yeah,
on
that's
my
what I
timeline.
mean. Is like I only get tidbits here and there, but well, Plackboy Max doesn't he like make beats and shit too and whatever?
I don't know what he
does
but
something.
I think
that
it's
whole-
engineering he
Yeah.
be doing.
He does
'cause
something.
He was on there like fixing his vocals and shit, doing like reverb and all that shit. I don't know if that's like
I don't know.
I don't know what that is.
But he's like a game streamer kind of. Isn't he part of like the what's Kai Cenat shit?
AMP no.
No, he's not part of that.
Nah.
Because he seems to be associated. I feel a lot.
I think he in his own type person, type streamer.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I thought he was associated with that world, but again, that's how little I know. Really.
I'll shout out the Big X the Plug Deluxe because he had a Pop White song and I was like, oh damn, Big X is really like that. Because remember he sold units and I was like, damn, I'm impressed by the way Big X the Plug sold. And what told me that he really sold is that he put out a deluxe and he had like a pop white feature. Like I'm talking like think about your 2010s like pop record where like you have like a rapper and then you have like a white person on the hook and it's just like it's like poppy, it's friendly, whatever. Yeah. No, he had the Holy Ground record, which was dope. By the way, so shout out to Big X the Plug. Before we get off albums and we touch on singles, because I'm not gonna say it's a whole discussion. Maybe it will open a discussion, just because I feel the way I feel about it. But the best album this week, man, I gotta highlight this Boldy album. This Boldy album,
that was sounding real nice.
I'm telling you, listen, nice. I know this is gonna be a hot take. I'm gonna sit with it for the weekend. I'm gonna put this out there, and I'm just gonna keep it light. I off first listen like this more than I like Price of Tea in China, and I know that that's going to cause an uproar. I'm sorry.
Say it again.
I think this is Boldy's best album.
Oh, over the Price of Tea in China?
Yes, and I will say I'm gonna chat. I'm gonna sit with it for the weekend. I'm gonna come back next week, and I'm gonna say whether I still feel that way. I'm gonna run through Price of Tea in China again, but this album right here, I'm talking the versatility, the lyrical substance.
Well,
again,
he took a different direction. He went more Detroit,
and also he went through that horrible accent that he had, and thank God he's okay. I felt like there was just an evolution, a maturation, not only in like sonics and production and like versatility, but there was that in lyrics. Like
I just have to.
He's cold.
I have to shout
he's
out.
Cold, man.
One thing I love about
phenomenal
Boldy
album, best album this year so far.
All the Detroit.
Not saying none, but still.
You know how many things he's rhymed with Mick Nichols, like you know what I mean. And he also said he had a line on here. It's like there's one song called I think it's the second track. It's called like I'm Ghetto or something like that.
Yeah, Ghetto.
And he's like I'm Ghetto like Warren and Cadillac. I'm like okay.
That was right by my career.
Yeah, you got it.
He keeps it Detroit.
No, yeah, that's hey, shout out Boldy. But what's cool is like, cause the one thing that I see like from although like you know steam has kind of been lost, but I'm still an overall fan like Griselda in general. I feel like they've lost a little steam overall, but Boldy, this does not sound like an album from a Griselda artist. Which
no,
is like,
this sounds
that's
like
what I think is cool is
his
that
own.
He's not just sticking to the mold of what his label's doing. He's like, you know, he's still sticking to his roots of like this album really went back to it's just straight like fucking Detroit shit. Like every beat that I heard was pretty much on the fence of a Detroit beat one way or the other, you know?
Yeah. I want to shout out to when we're shouting out singles that dropped. The Later June's 2 Chainz, The Alchemist.
Yeah.
That shit was fire.
It was fire. The video was sweet.
2 Chainz did his thing on that.
2 Chainz on Alchemist production.
I'm surprised Amir ain't pop up in this bitch.
Yeah, that motherfucker. No, listen. The next piece of content we gonna record, I promise you, he's gonna pop out. I promise you, he's gonna pop out. The Bruno single. You know,
it's fine, but I expect more from him.
He collabed with Sexy Red.
I ain't gonna lie.
It's not the time now. It's not the time now, especially because we're this deep in the podcast. We're this late in the podcast. I'm not gonna have this whole discussion right now, but I just want to put this out there in the ether. There's conversations about Bruno, and let's just say the temperature for Bruno Mars isn't what I thought it would be. Like, when I'm talking to my music people about Bruno, you would think that the hits and the resume that he has and where he's at right now
carries.
There would be a higher peak of interest. And I'll say this about this. This song does feel like a moment. It feels like a cash grab, whatever. I'm not hating on it. But between that, the Lady Gaga record that was like #1, but yet like we never heard it outside of the time we chose to listen to it. We never heard it. Like, he's starting to get in that realm of like are you number one or are you orchestrated to be number one? Like, how much of this is like, how much of your music is actually moving us, and how much of it is not? We're not gonna go. I don't want to go like too deep into that because let's save that because I think Bruno has an album coming this year.
That could be a discussion in itself.
I think Bruno has an album coming this year, and I think we're gonna have time to have that discussion. But that was just my thought of where I'm at with it.
What I will say to that is that I think Bruno, because like if you look at Anderson .Paak and Silk Sonic, like those vocal inflections were so Anderson .Paak on this record. But that's not the point, really. It's like
Anderson .Paak.
They are two absolutely different tiers of artists.
Yeah.
Bruno is, as much as I love Anderson .Paak, eons above Anderson .Paak as far as success, as far as mainstream popularity, however you want to put it. It seems like right now Bruno is just doing coasting. He's just doing. Well, he's doing what he wants to do.
Yeah, he's coasting.
You know, but Bruno is an artist. Kind of trailing back to what we talked about earlier. He's made enough money off music. He doesn't have to work another day for the rest of his life. Yeah. Like there's no reason. So I think now he's at a point of just he didn't have to do all that shit with Anderson .Paak and make that album and whatever, and he did, and he didn't, and like. And then, okay, you could say, oh, but he's doing a song with Lady Gaga. Yeah, he's a pop artist. So pop artists are going to work with pop artists. And then that also goes to Sexy Red. That was a Twitter interaction that turned into a song. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like...
Again, and how quickly it turned into a song, whether that song was already done and that was orchestrated or whether this song happened that fast. Either way, again...
it's not the most
complex
song.
Yes, it feeds into the narrative. It feeds into the narrative of, like, the people... that feel the way they feel about Bruno. That's all I'm gonna say for now. That's all I'm gonna say for now. If you have anything,
I think he's just having fun and doing what he wants to do right now.
If you have anything, chime in on that. Cool.
I hate Bruno Mars. I ain't gonna lie, nigga annoying. I don't know what it is.
You just hate short people.
I'm short. I don't.
That's
care
why.
Yeah, but you're not Bruno short. You're not Bruno short. I'm not gonna do that. I didn't even know he was that
short. To be honest, like we around the same height.
That's why people in power go after people in power.
That motherfucker gets picked up by his girl for kisses. I'm telling you.
I think he's shorter than you, though.
I don't know.
That motherfucker sits at bar stools and his legs be dangling, bro. They be swinging.
I don't know if the nigga Mexican, Filipino. I don't know if
I'm pretty sure he's Mexican of some sort.
He look like one of them niggas with Down syndrome. Like, you know what I'm talking about? Like, he just got that face. I don't know. There's too much space on his face.
Hey man, you know, let's you know, I got some
special glasses made.
I got some announcements. Futures mix loading the mixtape.
Bruno Mars has Down syndrome.
We got weekend next week. Kind of quiet for a weekend drop. The week of a weekend drop, but we'll see.
That shit gonna sound like the weekday.
Larry June again. I'm excited. I'm excited to see. Wayne's teasing Carter 6. Chrisp and Kendrick. That record has been teased to be dropping very soon. Again, I got Young Lean teasing the album. We got GNX again going platinum, which I mentioned before. Young Thug and Metro confirmed that they have a collab album. I guess fucking Metro did a collab album with everybody but Jid. He said he was going to do an album with Jid, and that motherfucker that got shelved. I know that motherfucker Jid calling him every day. I know Jid calling him every fucking day, and Metro's just out there doing other shit.
Yeah, Jid calls him like 151.
Yeah. Kanye a billionaire again tucked that chain in. Shout out Dave Chappelle. Doechii performing at the Grammys. Last I'll say is this: Mac Miller did $70K first week. Chris, before we close the pod, I know you had some thoughts on.
I didn't get a big chance to do it
on Mac. So go ahead and cook on Mac Miller and Balloonerism.
I'll keep it short and sweet. As Mac Miller being historically like my favorite artist. Yeah, because last week we only really got to talk about the side of like the posthumous thing. You know, we were running short on time and whatever. But as an album in his catalog, Is it his best? I will say no. I think it is absolutely an experience. I think it's really good. I don't think it's for everybody. I think you have
No, it's definitely not. It's definitely experimental. It's
experimental. You have to really you have to like a certain type of thing.
Yes.
For it. He pretty much produced the entire thing himself. And he had a very specific style of production.
And this was between what albums? Because I remember him saying he was 22.
So it was between,
allegedly when it was recorded.
It was between Watching Movies with the Sound Off and Faces, which Watching Movies with the Sound Off.
Okay, that tracks.
Historically, everybody knows is like the Mac Miller album.
Yeah, that tracks.
Faces was the following from that, and that was a mixtape technically. I mean, and it's very similar to Faces in a lot of ways.
Yes.
I think it's actually like a more concise version of Faces, if anything.
Do you like it better than Faces?
No, there's no. I mean, Faces, nothing beats Faces for it.
Is it me, or does Faces have like a sad vibe to it?
It does, and this one does too.
This one does too. Yeah.
I ain't listened to the new one.
So you could tell. So
it's fire.
So basically, the story goes with this album is that after Watching Movies with the Sound Off, he put an album together. And that's Balloonerism that just dropped. And he put it together, and then he didn't like scrap it, but he kept it and said, now's not the time for this. I want to drop this at a different point in my career. And he went on to make Faces. So if you listen to this new one, it's Faces. It's big Faces vibes. The sounds are very similar. The beats are very similar. It's more of a concise version of it, I think. And
I ain't gonna lie, I just can't listen to like no sad Mac after he.
Yeah.
I know. Trust me, it's tough. As someone who loves him, who is such a big fan of him, it's tough listening to the sad shit. But
dude, some of them records on there are so fire.
I mean, this album, there's so much about like what happens when we die, like type of thing. Mm-hmm. And there's one song specifically, "Funny Papers," which is the one that I've heard the most because that's been leaked for years. And he says. Somebody died. I read about it in the Funny Papers. He said, I didn't think anybody died on a Friday or something like that. And then he died on a Friday, which is fucking crazy. Like, it's way too, it's like.
On the nose.
Shit'll send chills up your spine type of shit. But what I will say, I think it's fantastic. I think it's a very good project. I think that if we're going for a sad Mac Miller album, the last posthumous one probably was technically better. Circles, but at the same time, like he had made a very staunch point throughout since the day he recorded this album through his career that there is a day he's going to drop it. He just doesn't know when, and I'm almost positive this is the last thing we'll get.
Okay.
Because this was the last thing that was planned.
That was intended.
Everything
yeah.
else. Unless
because Circles was in the work deep in the works.
Circles was supposed to drop like when it actually did, like type of thing. You know what I mean? So that was already completely made. This was completely made. Yeah, everything was together. So
that's a good point. I'm glad you brought that up.
I think this is the end of what we're getting from Mac Miller's camp, and you know what? I'm happy with it. I think that it is.
Again, 70K is no joke. Like that's a great first week, especially
and for someone who's not alive or being able to promote his shit or whatever, it's like it's up to the powers that be. And I think it's kind of outside.
And again, his parents aren't gonna come out and do the media
He was signed to Warner Brothers, but Warner Brothers made a deal with him when he signed. That was like, which is very rare. But they were like, whatever you're doing, you're doing it right. Just keep doing it. Like, whatever. And it's rare to see that in the music industry. And so whether this is a push from the label, I'm on the side of it's probably just his family wanted to get the shit out there. His mom knew he was a great rapper, and his mom has been the one curating all of anything that's happened since the day he died. So, I'll stand in front of that 100%. But it's a good album. I really, really enjoyed it. It's sad as fuck. It's very eerie and like atmospheric, and it's his most like abstract album he's ever had. 100%.
Easily.
It's so out there.
You even look at the SZA record; it's just
and he has a 2013 SZA on there too.
Which I loved SZA going back in the Z bag. I love SZA where she's at now. But like SZA Z-Bag, that's when I found her. That's when I fell in love with SZA. Like that alternative, that weird SZA, that like dark atmosphere.
Yeah, well, it was like pre-pop.
Everybody's
kind of talking shit.
Oh,
but
see, I'm looking at the inside. I'm looking at the personality.
Birdie, what I would say, like, I know you're not like the biggest Mac Miller fan, but you respect him and you have a fan. You think he's a good artist and whatever. I think it would be a good. You should listen to it, but it's a type of. It's a smoke a blunt and put your headphones in and sit in a room and listen to it. Not a. You're not throwing it out in the car, really, type of shit. You know what I mean? So it's good. It's great. I'm very happy with it. I'm glad we got it.
All right.
Jay-Z. Sorry.
Listen, man. Shout out to everybody for tuning into Rap K Podcast. Again, I am Chrisp Apples, a.k.a. Platte.
Off topic, but that's a nice jacket.
That jacket is fire. I complimented on him last week.
Yeah, that's a fire-ass jacket.
That's why we got to upgrade the studio so this motherfucker can get a camera. All right, you gonna do that? Yeah, you go. Sometimes you gotta pop. Sometimes you gotta pop out.
Fashion Nova, call them.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. It was an Instagram targeted ad.
This man been declining calls the whole pod. I seen him pressing his phone, declining them calls. I already know what that is. But
business on
I'm Chrisp Platte, aka Platte Pods. I'm with my dog, some of my best friends, some of the core contributors of this podcast. I got Birdie. And I got Chrisp Apples on the ones and twos doing the production. Let us know in the comments below what you think of all the new music that dropped. Central C vs. Lil Baby, Mac Miller's album, Big X a Plug, Bruno Mars, Is He Cooked? Let me know those theories, by the way, if y'all got those theories. Joey Badass and what's to come with that whole East Coast, West Coast thing, where we're at. Meek Mill trying to buy TikTok.
Michelle Obama or Jennifer Aniston.
Yeah, Kendrick Lamar is it a red flag? They're not selling tickets the way they need to. All of that and more. Please comment. Also, give us some topics too for the next podcast. But we will be back next week with more content. All of that. Stay tuned. Be safe. Have a good weekend. Peace out, everybody.
Peace.